my name's Aaron Homer with Nautique Boats of Utah. Today we're at Deer Creek Reservoir and we're going to go through the process to launch a boat. So first of all, you want to make sure that the hooks are released. Don't want to get down in the water and have them back you in and it just floats away on you. After that, come to the back. Same thing, we've got your rear transom straps. Now, these are a little tricky sometimes, so right down here in the bottom, if you'll just take and hold your thumb with the center and then your index finger push on the back tab that locks it, and then that will retract. The most important part of this is you notice how it can move up and down. You want to put one ratchet or two on that. I have seen cases where this in reverse has been sucked into the prop and it ends up as a bad day. So now that the boat's unhooked, we'll hop in and go from there. So we're now ready to launch the boat into the water. There's a few things you want to check over in the boat before you go back into the water. So on a Nautique, if you push the start button once, it'll turn on one of the lights and that will light up your screen. If you push it the second time, it's going to light up the second light, which turns on all of your NCRS, NSS, and fuel pump and all the controls in the motor. So now the boat's talking to the motor. As you read through all of your safety risks, you can acknowledge risk, and now we have the boat ready to back into the water. Most important thing that we have to remember is this good buddy right here, our drain plug. You'll find the drain plug right here inside this compartment. In this compartment you have your battery switch. You want to take and turn your battery switch to on. There's also one more click, which is the second battery. Now it's important to take and just use the first battery, that first little switch, because if you're sitting out in the water, you're listening to the radio and lose track of time, you may run your battery dead. And we know how frustrating that can be. So if you click it to the second battery, you've always got a second battery to start the boat. So we're gonna go ahead and put the drain plug in. We've turned on our battery. Inside the battery switch right here, you've got these little yellow switches. If they're popped and switched, the boat won't start. So it's important to make sure you reset those, push the button down and click your solenoids. And if you're having any troubles with your boat, turn it off, go through, reset all your breakers, and 90% of the time that'll fix the little glitches you're dealing with. A few tips that I want to give you about pulling and backing your trailer in. If you have space, you want to pull your boat all the way down to the water's edge, turn at the water, and then pull all the way straight forward and keep pulling forward until in both mirrors you see that your boat is equal. So we have to do this a little bit further, and actually is going to be a good example of backing this boat in. So right now, if you look in the mirrors right there, you can actually see I'm perfectly level pulling backwards. Now, this is a cool trick that I learned when my dad taught me how to back up a boat when I was a teenager. He got tired of doing everything. So as you put it in reverse, if you'll take your bottom hand, put it at the bottom of the steering wheel, and start backing up, whatever way you want the boat to go, you just move your hand that way and the boat will move and turn that way. So we need to go over here to the left. So if you look in the mirror right there, as I turn and move my boat to the left, I move my hand to the left, that boat starts turning to the left. Now we need to go back to the right. Turn it to the right. Now we can keep that boat perfectly straight all the way back. Sometimes it helps just to put your hand over the shoulder and look down the back. Now we have a truck over on that side, so we want to come over here to this side of the ramp. Back straight in. It's okay to wait and stop at the ramp if there's people that are pulling out and you're not sure what they're going to do. It's okay to just take your time and slow down and wait. So at this point we go and we can take and back this boat straight up into the water. So now we're slowly backing up down into the water. Few things that you're going to want to check. I'll always take and back the boat into the water and stop right when the fenders are barely in the water and under the water. That means that your intake hole is right buried deep enough in the water that we can start the boat so we're not going to hurt our impeller. And the reason I do that is so to make sure that it starts. All right, so we're about deep enough right there. You're good, stop. We're gonna go through and open up these rear hatches so we can see the engine. If you look over the edge there, you can see that we're just barely with the fenders under the water. We're gonna start the boat, purrs like a kitten, go through and check each of these. Now this is the first time this boat's ever been in the water, so we want to make sure that everything runs perfect for our customer. We'll pull this seat back right in this compartment. You see these little manifolds right down here? Man, they keep coming up with cool things each year. Each of these hoses are clipped on. Those are your drain plugs. And you need to make sure those are all attached. This is a really quick boat to winterize if you're late season, early season, and you're gonna go over a winter pass and know you're gonna freeze. You just clip each of those hoses off. Take your strainer. On a Nautique, your strainer is behind this battery, right back up here. If you go to Lake Powell and you're dealing with quagga mussels, they're gonna ask you to remove your strainer and show that it's empty, and also show you that the plug is out of the boat and there's no water in it. We don't want to contaminate these freshwater lakes up here at Deer Creek and Jordanelle and anywhere else in Utah. So it's important to follow those rules. And if you need to decontaminate your boat, make sure you do it, and we'll all pitch in to keep these lakes clean. Everything looks good. I'll come over to the screen. Make sure that our temperatures of the engines are good, that it's not overheating. I'm running at 97 in idle. We're gonna go up to about 165, 175 is the safe range. We'll have them back us down in. I like to just sit where the driver can see me, and as we back them in, we'll start floating, and then I can give him the hand signal to stop. A lot of times I'll whistle, and he knows to stop. He actually just looked out the door and to see what I needed. We'll put it in reverse and go from there. Always give him a thumbs up, let him know that I'm past the point of the guidepost, and we'll go from there. Now that we're on the lake, imagine all these people around us, busy 4th of July. If we take and hit the steer assist button right here, we can actually take and hold the steer assist, and we've just backed off the trailer. Now we're just turning in place. We haven't gotten in anyone's way. I can take the boat, point it in the direction I want to go, put it in gear, and drive forward. That steer assist is amazing. It's a game changer. Definitely a marriage saver, if you guys know what I mean. So we went out and had some fun out on the boat. Is what I like to do is I'll just come out here and just sit and wait while the guy getting the trailer backs in. You're way out of the way. 90% of your damage on your boat happens within 100 yards of the dock. So just be patient, sit back, wait for traffic to clear, and just hold out here. A few tips of pulling the boat up on the trailer. If you'll take and just I call it burp it into gear and out of gear. You gotta realize with a direct drive boat, your boat has to be moving to steer and move. So for me to sit here or try without going and steer the steering wheel, it's not gonna go anywhere. You have to be in gear as you do it. So if you just slowly put it into gear and then straighten it up and then drop it to neutral and go slow, just take your time, take it easy. You do have 2 guideposts that you're aiming for. Trying to make that touchdown, that extra point. We're coming in, we're a little crooked to it, so we'll just use our steer assist here. Straighten this up. So we're coming in gear and then we'll pull it to neutral, come out of gear. Go into gear and come out and we can readjust that steering wheel. I'm gonna wave him back in until I see those bunks just barely go underwater and then give him the stop. In and then out. We're coming in a little crooked, so I'll use my steer assist. Straighten this right out. Got a lot of people around us. Right up to the top. There we go. Give it a little bit of a bump up. I kind of like to leave it in gear right there. As I go and I come up front and clip this on. Summer, would you like to give it a little bit more throttle? Just push it forward just a hair. Come forward, a little bit more. Right there and hold it there. Now you want to make sure that your bumper, snub bumper, and your boat are right up tight next to each other. This ring stops at the bump stop. So when you're pulling it down the road, you don't want it bouncing when it comes back and when you're driving down the road. So make sure it's up tight. I like to sit back here over this edge. Make sure that we have the same distance on both sides, it's about 4 inches. We're good to go, Matt. Hold it center. We're perfect. Give them the thumbs up, we're good. You want to make sure it's in full drive when you pull it out. These boats are getting heavier and heavier. So now that we pulled the boat out of the water, we're just going to reverse all the steps. We're going to come in here, turn our battery off, pull the drain plug. Your drain plug sits right here on the side. So you always remember where it's at. First thing you sit down and look at. You see your drain plug, make sure it's in. If you do forget, make sure someone sticks their thumb in the hole so it doesn't sink. All right, so now that we pulled out of the water, we're gonna take and hook up our straps. So again, hold your thumb there, push with your index finger, and this will come up easy. We hook ours on Nautique, we hook them right to the swim deck. Good snug, not too tight. It's just holding the boat in case you're in an accident. Keep it on the trailer. While I'm down here, I like to just inspect the prop, just make sure everything's in good condition, and we're good to go.